Hey guys, welcome back to day 22 of Clevprof's Advent Calendar. Now, if this is the first video that you are seeing, then hello, my name is Clevprof, and this is my Advent Calendar. I have been working for the last couple of weeks, ever since the start of December, to make one video a day, every day leading up until Christmas. And each video we've been doing a build with a twist. For instance, we've got minions holding chocolate, light up holly, we've got a stage play of the nativity that has nether mobs, we've got a Santa hat that's got a bedroom, we've got a very creepy looking angel over there, we've got a present that gets you an advancement. So many different things going on here, and I understand that this can all look a little bit overwhelming. So there is a playlist in the description where you can start at day one and work your way back up to this video. But anyway, today we are going to be building whatever this randomizer says, and this randomizer has said we are going to build a candy cane with a piston door. So somehow we've got to incorporate a piston door into a candy cane. And just like yesterday, I don't actually know where to build this. The space that we've got is quite limiting in terms of open space. So I'm wondering, I don't really want to expand off too far in a direction. I want to all keep it kind of around this area. But there's this area just over here that's looking a little bit bare. So maybe we take out a bit of this hillside and build a candy cane. Now, we do have some very small candy canes here in our gingerbread house that we built a few days ago. But this one I think is going to be much bigger so that we can do a load of redstone inside and make it into a piston door. So, without further ado, let's start the music, and it's time-lapse time. Time-lapse complete, and we have a giant candy cane. I don't know what it is with me and making things giant, but I figured that we would need enough space to put all of the redstone for a piston door on the inside. So yeah, also you would not believe how difficult it is to make these diagonals. For instance, at the back it didn't quite work out, and I couldn't figure a way to get one more stripe in there. And it looks a little bit funky from the top, but I think from the front and down here, which is where you're going to be viewing it most of the time, just down like that, it looks really, really cool, and I'm so happy with how it has turned out. But now, the other part of what we've got to do is we've got to use a piston door. What I'm thinking is that this block, this 3x3 here, is where we would put the piston door. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this in all honesty, because it is a very interesting shape. So what I could either do if I hop into FreeCam is we're just now inside on the other side of the door, is I could kind of pull the blocks back and push them to the side. Or what I think I could do is either raise the blocks up, kind of pull them back, or what I think the easiest one to do would be to use honey and slime and pull all of the blocks down. Now, I haven't really experimented with honey block and slime block piston doors, so this is going to be a learning curve for both of us, I think. Now, a problem that I'm seeing immediately is if we get some slime blocks in our inventory, it will be easier to show. But we want to pull these ones down, and if we do that, the slime blocks are also going to stick here. So maybe it has to be a 3x5 piston door, because we would also have slime there and then honey in the middle, and of course the slime is going to stick to both sides. So yeah, that's going to have to go down somehow. I honestly don't know how I'm going to do it. So I've come outside of the candy cane to try and work this out, and what I think we need is what is called a triple piston extender. So we'd have a piston here and it would de-extend. I don't know if that's the right word, but it would kind of pull it all down and then it can extend to push it up. And we need a triple because we need to be able to move it down 3 blocks, I think is right. I might even need a quadruple, but we're going to try this and see. So this is kind of a slice of it, and imagine that this was a slime block with the actual door there. Okay, so this door is 3 high, but yeah, we're not going to be able to drag them all down at the moment, so I've just got the bottom here. Now, in order to extend, we're going to need to power this one first, so that's lever number 1, and then we're going to need to do this one, which is lever number 3, and this one that's lever number 5. So to go up, it's very simple. It's 1, then 3, then 5. But to come down is the hard bit. So we're going to need to depower 5. So all of these are good. So 5 off. Then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to unpower 3. So that's going to be 3 off. This is technical stuff, but this is just to try and work out the sequence. And then 4 on, 4 off. Can we fit this? 4 on, then 4 off. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to depower 1. So that's going to then be 1 off. And then we're going to need power 2. So that's 2 on. Gosh. Oh, 2 on like that. And then unpower 2, 2 off. And we're nearly there. And then the final step would be to power 3 and turn 3 off. Now, if I'm right, that should retract into the floor, and then when it's extended, if we just extend all of these again, yes, it's 3 higher. So it's level here, and we don't actually need a lever there because that's where our floor is going to be. And then to retract it, we have to do that complicated sequence that I have no idea how we're going to pull off. So I'm going to have to scratch my brain and see how I can do that. So I think I'm onto something for the door going up, which is the easy bit. If we flick this lever here, it all happened very quickly, but what happened was this observer changed the state of this copper bulb to permanently on, which meant that this comparator could read the signal and send the signal into the piston, and then the observer goes up and does the same thing and again, and it's timed nicely so that it happens. But now if we try to retract it, we're missing a load of the steps. So we've managed to get it down one block, but now what I think we've got to do is maybe build something similar on the other side. So a complete redesign, and I think we are getting somewhere. Now, I got to this point just by kind of playing around with it, which honestly I think is one of the best ways to learn Redstone. But we've got this here, and imagine that this is a kind of clock or something. So if we power it like that, it all comes up very quickly. And then if we go again, it comes down one block. So that's once that we powered it to turn it up, and then we've powered it once so far to bring it back down. We do it a second time, and it retracts down to here. We do it a third time, and the pistons retract to where they're meant to be. And then I was like, I wonder what will happen if I just keep doing it again. And it goes all the way back to the top. So if I just do this like that, I noticed that all we really need to power is this piston here. And lucky for us, this piston is actually back to its base position. So if we used this side to put an observer pointing into there, so if we just come out a little bit, and we had an observer here, if we then gave that observer a signal, everything retracts down to where it is meant to be. Now, how we control this, I'm not quite sure yet, but I think that this is probably the principle that we're going to be working with, and obviously it is tileable as well, because we've got 3 in a row. So a fair bit of head scratching later, and we have a working design. It's certainly not the most compact, but this is going to work amazingly well. So what we've got is we've got a button input. Now I'll probably have a button on the inside and a button on the outside, so that if either button is pushed, a signal will go through this circuit here. So what will happen when the button is pushed is that this redstone will power, and then this repeater will turn this torch off, which will then send the first signal through this observer line, starting the retraction process. While that's going on, a redstone signal will also be sent to this copper bulb. This copper bulb will then change state. That is detected by this comparator, and that will then send a redstone signal through here. So the redstone torch will turn on, sending the first signal, and then it will turn off, and then by the time it's done that, the third signal will come along here and power the redstone torch, and that will then give the third signal, allowing it all to drop down. While that's happening, this observer is detecting any update to this redstone and sending a signal along here through another delay into this copper bulb that is changing state, and then that will then power this observer, which will pull this piston back down. Well, it'll be this piston in that spot just there. So if we do this and we watch it all happen, we can see that it all retracts down and then it stays in its retracted state. So then to pull it back up, to push it back up rather, when we push this button, the signal will go through here, and because this is now in this state, it won't do anything to this torch. The signal will go through here, change the state of this copper bulb, detected by the comparator. This will all start turning off, which means this torch will turn on, and that sends the signal to send it back up. So if we do that now, it all goes back up. So now all that's left for us to do is to build this under the candy cane and also make this bit free across, which of course it's tileable. So I'll get to doing that and be back in a moment. Okay, so all of this is built and I haven't tested it at all, but at the moment we can see that the door is in the upwards position. So if we now push this button, I'm really nervous. Hopefully it will all just retract down into the ground like that. And we have a door into our candy cane. And if we now push this button again, it should, in theory, all come back up. Oh my gosh, that worked perfectly. Oh, I'm so happy that that's worked. So now all that's left to do is connect up this to a path, have the button somewhere, and have the button somewhere on the inside, and then we are all done. Okay, so now that all of that is done, we have a complete candy cane, and if we push this button here, the door opens and we can get inside, and then now that we're in the candy cane, we can close the candy cane up. Just takes a moment, there we go. And we are now inside. The inside is a little bit messy, but that's okay. And if we want to get out, we can now push this button and it lowers slowly. We can come out, and now we can push this button and it should all retract just like that. Perfect. But unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video and for all of the support on this series so far. It really does mean a lot to me. There is a link to the playlist in the description down below where you can find all the videos that I've done so far in this series. Thanks for watching. My name has been Clevprof and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!